Hi, this is Jody with Get Your Face Out There on Air, and this morning I have with me Michael Maureen, and he has a company called Accounting Mike, right?
Yes,
Okay.
accountingmike.com.
But he does so many different things that we're going to try to cover a good portion of his accounting and then a good portion of some other things that he does. He's an author, he's a writer, he's a producer,
Actor.
comedian, and it goes on and on and on.
All around nice guy.
All around nice
Thank
guy.
you.
That's
Thank
true.
you.
That's true.
Thanks.
And I'm glad that you came in,
Thank
and
you.
I'm very intrigued by you and
Thank you.
everything that you want to share with all of our guests. So let's first touch upon taxes. That's in season right now, and I guess let's start. Well, how did you get into taxes? Being accountant, what made you go with the numbers? With your personality, I'm curious to know that.
Well, I do like the idea that 2 + 2 = 4, never equals 3.5 or 4.5. And so many things are debatable, but numbers are. I like and I've always been good at numbers. I've been a good at mathematical mind, and so when I went to Cornell University and I got a Bachelor of Science in Economics.
Right.
And I got into healthcare, which is another one of my things that I'm getting involved in here later. And I also
I always say
specialize
learn
in,
5 new things a day. He's surpassed.
I got into hospitals and finance are 2 areas that will always be around. There'll always be hospitals. There'll always
Right.
people get sick. There'll always be numbers. And so I got a CPA many years ago, just as a credential to say, hey, look, got a master's, I got a CPA. It really helped my career. And then later, later in my career, I decided to go work for a CPA firm. And then I found out that I was good at doing taxes. So that's one of my businesses that I'm promoting today.
And how long have you been doing it?
Taxes about 8 years, but I've been doing accounting and finance for more than 30 years. So, but taxes I got into recently, and I found I have a lot of skill. And I do have a knack for it, and I'm really good at finding ways to save money and to explain things to people.
So I think I'll have you do my taxes this year.
You should. A lot of people come to me with taxes, and it's something I just want to sign on the line. I don't want to look at it. I'm scared of it. And to me, I've always been a person to explain things to people. Mm-hmm. And I've always, to say, no, I want you to know what's on here. This is your tax return.
Yes.
And we're going to look at it, and we're going to figure out what we can do and, what we can't do.
You want as much money as you can, and you want as little going out to the government as possible. So, Accounting Mike, he's your man.
Yes, you go into I have a website, www.accountingmike.com. If you're dyslexic, you can type mikeaccounting.com, and you still get to my website. Yes.
High five.
Thank you.
Did you know that trick, or was it just a surprise?
No, I had to set that up. I have to pay for 2 websites.
Oh,
Yes,
I gotcha. I thought, okay.
So you don't have to think. You don't have to memorize a number, 1-800, pain or whatever.
No, it's real simple.
It's simple. Accounting Mike. You go on the website and send me an inquiry, and my phone number's there too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you can call me up, and I will, help you for free. I'm not going to I'll look at your situation, and I also have
an honest assessment. You'll tell
a lot
them.
of people. Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that. This is something I knew in healthcare because I used to do Medicare cost reports, but you have 3 years after you file. So last year you would have filed your 15 in April, let's say, April 16. Well, you have 3 years after that to change anything that you want. So anybody from 3 years ago, from the 13, 14, and 15 tax returns, I can take a look at what you filed and tell you maybe we can find some more money for you that's been sitting there that you didn't realize.
No, I bet a lot of people didn't know that you can change things after 3 years, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I've had people, just come to me and been so happy because somebody, he didn't really know what he was doing, and I said, look, you have a business, but you have no expenses. Of course you have expenses. If you got a 1099 and somebody gave you $1,000 for doing something, well, of course you had to drive there, and
that's true.
And you have office supplies, and sometimes people didn't realize, and they filed something and they paid a lot of taxes and they don't have to. So that's why I'm here to get you some money.
There you go. And that's what everybody wants. And do you need to save any like receipts and stuff when you're like, you say your driving expenses and like let's say you take your clothes to the laundry. Do you need to save all that and give it to you? Or is there just a cap, or is there just a round number that you put down, or how's that work?
It's funny. I've been doing taxes a lot of times, and sometimes somebody will say, "What did you have for travel?" And they write down $2,500, and I look at it. Well, to me, I know it's wrong because nobody spends exactly $2,500 on the travel. So
Right.
a lot of people do estimate. You shouldn't. You're not supposed to estimate. You're supposed to have receipts and all that type of thing. If you're audited, you could. If in a case of an audit, the IRS will go to your bank statements, and you'd have to justify expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to have a mileage log. But the reality is people do estimate, and
I would. First of all, I have
Right.
to drive to Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Port St. Lucie. I'm driving constantly, even in between, and I don't even know how I would go about it, and I never really questioned or mentioned that to my accountant before. They'll ask me about laundry and aftercare and kids stuff, and that's
Well,
about it.
let me take a look at your
Okay.
taxes later on.
I'm
I'll let you
definitely
know.
going to.
I'll let you know if you did a great job. I'll let you know, and then if you didn't, I'll let you know that too.
Okay, so you're an author.
Right.
You're a film producer. So let's talk a little bit about your book, because it's got a very funny name.
Well, the book is many, many years ago, and it came
Okay.
out in the '80s. So
Y'all remember
I-
Cabbage Patch Kids?
yeah. So anyway, I've always enjoyed humor. I think humor is great. I think laughing is very healthy for you.
And
and
adds years to your life.
it does. It's really good. And sometimes we can't laugh when we're watching CNN and what's going on in the news. Of course, I get my news from Jimmy Fallon.
I turn it off. There
I
you
watch-
go. Way to go.
Right. Because we should. It's good for us. So I do like to make people laugh and tell jokes and be happy. So I came out with a book that was during
101
the,
ways to get rid of
a-
lettuce.
a lettuce head doll, and that's from Leisure Books. You can find it on Amazon. There's a few copies floating around. It was back in the '80s. So
Wow.
I did get a lot of publicity on that. I got was held up on Good Morning America and some other things like
Oh,
that. So
okay.
it got me into some national publicity, and I've done other projects. I came out with a game that got me national publicity and got me
What's it called?
flown. The Subway Vigilante game. That was about, people might remember that Bernie Goetz shot some people on the subway back in New
Yeah,
York. So this was the home version I did. Got me national publicity, and there was some humor, some seriousness in that.
Now you're working on something new. You're producing a kids' television show.
Yes, this is
That's
something
fun.
that is my goal in
passion.
life, my true passion. Very passionate, and I got involved in setting up a children's television program that could have a real major impact in the world one of these days. And if people are interested in helping me get this program back on television again, I did a pilot back in Fort Lauderdale years ago. It was very successful. It's a children's television show. It has competition, and it's fun, and it's also educational. And we emphasize exercise, nutrition, good values, things that really kids need these days, and even adults need it. So we put all this into the program in a humorous format.
And what
So-
was it called? Pig's Barn?
No, it's called
Something
the Pig
funny.
Club. So
Pig Club.
you can find our website at www.thepigclub.org. O-R-G. So it's something that I actually started back in junior high school. I came out with a newspaper called the Daily
really?
Grunt.
Okay.
Yes, it was a satire talking, and so I kept it up over the many years, and now I did do a pilot. I took the show live, did a 50-minute live where we got kids participate, and I'd like to get it going again. So it's one of my little side projects.
So
if you're
contact
interested-
him. So either financially, or if they want to be in it, or they want to produce it in any way, shape, or form, just give him a call. He'll talk to you and see where you guys make a good fit. And as far as he's also a songwriter as well.
Well, I did to promote the the book. I came out with the Lettuce Head Doll song, which was played in on
You gotta
60
love
radio
him.
stations, and then also had my second game was called the Year of the Yuppie, which people know what yuppies are, young urban professionals. And I also came out with a song called the Year of the Yuppie song, and it's also on YouTube. Made a music video out of it. So look up the Year of the Yuppie on Google that, and you can watch a very funny YouTube.
Now,
it's a song
you're
I wrote.
also,
Yes.
I don't know if I could say this on TV, but you're writing another book. It's Psycho Bleep. I don't know
Yes.
if I can say it.
Psycho Female Dog.
Okay. They're very good.
Thank you. PB.
That was great. Okay.
Or as they call it, PB, but it's based on
You know who you are.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's based on one particular person who, but it was also based on 8 years of dating. And after being married for 30 years,
Got to experience what's
I
really
went back
there.
out in the world and jumped into the dating scene. And being an accountant was great because I had a spreadsheet. And I think I stopped. It got too much work, but I had like 140 rows with different women, and there's different sorted by names.
I love it.
And so it was a very big experience in terms of searching what's involved in the online dating scene, which is what I got involved in. So anyway, I'm writing a book now based on that. And anybody
Super.
wants to get involved in editing or helping me on the book, you can contact me through. Can we give my phone number too?
You can give everything. So, it's tax season, everybody. So he's going to give you his information about getting a hold of him for the tax season. He's going to give his website and his phone number. And then also any other information, any other websites, feel free to go ahead. So the best way to get him is?
You can call me 954-815-4257 or go on my website at accountingmike.com or check out the children's television show at www.thepigclub.org.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well, he's going to be the funniest accountant you've ever seen and very helpful. He's been doing it a lot of years, so get a hold of him. With that, everyone, take care of yourself. There's only one you. Bye.